Hey folks, Rob Daniels here from the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5. And hey, if you missed the show, which does happen, you can also find me on visionsinsound.ca. It's the website. So here we are with the conclusion, kind of, to spooky season, where I have 3 videos coming up. A movie, TV, and video game soundtracks. So they'll be happening all during the day on Friday, which is the 31st. So there's that. So now here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to start off with, my original thought was to do something obviously different. And I was thinking, maybe do, Danny Elfman's The Frighteners or something like that. Then I stumbled across this classic Canadian horror film from the early 80s. Here we are with 1981's Scanners. What a fantastic, of its time film. This is the David Cronenberg that I kind of remember. So yeah, with the body horror films of David Cronenberg, who's kind of grown into a different entity over this last little while. He's actually become more of an actor. In any case, his films from the 80s were fantastic. We're talking, of course, Scanners. We're talking The Dead Zone. We're talking The Fly. There was a whole bunch of other ones that came after that, but those were the ones that I remember growing up with. But yeah, 1981's Scanners. Now for me, I don't know, maybe lesser for you, I was in 1981 11 years old. So I didn't get a chance to see this the first time. And as with most Canadian films, they were usually shown late night on City TV. So that's the funny part about all of this, is that my first exposure to David Cronenberg was The Dead Zone. And then it became Videodrome and The Fly and all of these other films that came out in kind of around the same time. Some fantastic stuff. So yeah, and of course doing the music for the David Cronenberg films was Howard Shore. And very much like the Williams-Spielberg or the Williams-Lucas collaboration, you have the Cronenberg-Shore collaborations. In any case, Shore is a very interesting composer. He comes from a band called Lighthouse. Now, Lighthouse is probably one of those bands that you'd kind of skip over and that sort of thing. But Howard Shore also became a part of television history when he wrote the theme to the Saturday Night Live. So with the theme to Saturday Night Live was all of that. And then, of course, Howard Shore became known for Lord of the Rings. Fantastic scores, but those early beginnings. Have a listen to this very early track, the main title from Scanners. And we'll be back to talk more about Scanners in just a sec. So yeah, there's some creepy stuff from the early 80s. Now there's some very interesting things that go on here, and this film is, for me, is a very interesting watch. It's the lead character is okay, and Patrick McGoohan is okay, but there is one actor in here that impresses me every time I see him, and that's Michael Ironside. Michael Ironside is a Canadian actor, and I love watching him do anything. Case in point.
Tell us what you did, please, Daryl.
I drilled a hole in the head.
Where?
It's kind of obvious. Right here.
Why did you do it, Daryl? Why did you drill the hole?
Too much pressure. Put some pressure.
You wanted to let the pressure out. You wanted to let something out of your head?
Lily, it's so smart. I can't get anything fast, Lily.
You wanted to let something out of your head. What?
People. People in my head. My friend for Daryl.
You mean voices?
Yeah. Old people. Arms, legs, hands.
What's that you put over the hole?
The door. Put the eye on the door so they won't know it's a door and they can't get back in because they'll see the eye, you know.
Do you think that will fool them?
Sure will. I mean, sure will, you know.
I mean, if that's the only way to...
No! What do you know? You don't know nothing, do you? You want to see how you get in? Anyway? You want to see how you get in?
Yeah, you want creepy in your film, you put Brad Dourif. You want creepy crazy in your film, you put Michael Ironside in. In any case, so yeah, the score here by Howard Shore is fantastic, and I highly recommend going out to look for it. The one that I have is actually off of a Silva Screen release done in 1992, and this is the Dead Ringers. Dead Ringers score. It has The Brood, it has Scanners, and it has Dead Ringers on it. So it's a kind of a little three for here. So that's pretty cool. But have to listen to a little bit more of the score, and then there is some really cool stuff. A question that I often, well, you know what? Before I get to the music, here's a question that I've often asked myself: is that can people with ESP and that kind of thing influence computers? And in this case, I honestly think a scanner possibly could definitely influence computers. Let's have a look.
There's no need for that. It's all very quiet. It's just internal switching.
Really? No one's ever switched off a scanner before.
See? I told you. No fireworks.
All right. Take what you will from that scene. Definitely 80s computer technology, early 80s computer technology. So there. So now we're going to get to the score. How to listen to some fantastic tracks off of this album. So there you go. Some fantastic music from a 1981 Canadian film, Scanners. Music by Howard Shore, directed by David Cronenberg. And for all that in mind, please, as Galadriel might ask you if she was here, and she actually is here. She's like just off camera. Just off camera. We'll eventually get her to the point where she's actually up here, but we'll see. I'm going to give her some time. In any case, she would say, like, share, and subscribe, and comment. I would really like to hear your comments on certain scores. You know, what's your favorite Halloween score? What's your favorite scary score? Whatever. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what your favorite score is in general, and that sort of thing. So with all that in mind, if you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play on my show, by all means, you can check out my show every week, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5. You can also try my website if you missed the show, which, hey, does happen. That's visionsinsound.ca. I'm on Blue Sky these days at visionsinsound.bsky.social. You can also try GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices, and I can be found on many of the other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. So folks, I know it's tough out there. So if you are having trouble, please call 911 for immediate help. You can also dial or text 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline. You can also try 1-844-HERE-247 and HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. So yeah, this is video 1 of 3 that I'm going to be doing today. This is the movie portion of it. And then I'm going to move on to the television next, which will come up in a little bit, and then finally the video game. So there's that. So stick around. There's another video coming, but have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Earaches, stomach cramps, nausea, sometimes other symptoms of a similar nature. At this point, I'd like to call for volunteers.
Do I have to close my
It
eyes?
doesn't matter.
All right, yes, I have something.
The mind force. Scanners. Their thoughts can kill.